In this video, I'll be showing you how you can find potential niches for Amazon KDP. So some extensions I recommend, which these are completely free, is the AMZ Suggestion Expander, and then also the Self-Publishing Titans BSR and Keyword Research tool. These are both free to add to Chrome, so I highly recommend getting those. I'm also searching in the incognito mode, which I also recommend. This isn't completely foolproof, but this definitely will help in your searches. Because if you search on your normal KDP or normal Amazon account, then all of your previous data will go in through the searches. So what I mean by is if you're someone that, for example, really loves horses and you search a lot of horse stuff, then Amazon is going to suggest those more to you, and it's just going to affect your search results. So being in the incognito mode definitely helps a lot with that. If you're in here for a while, then it will start to gather the trends and everything that you're searching. However, I do think this is at least better than searching on your own account, at least in my opinion. So first, download those and then make sure they are allowed in incognito mode. You may need to go to the details page. And if you scroll down, there's usually a bar that says where you can allow it from. So first, just search really anything. I'm going to be focusing on notebooks for this, although I don't think notebooks are always the best, most profitable in KDP. They can be. Some people do make a lot of money from notebooks, and they are very simple to make, so I do recommend making them if you're a beginner to kind of get started. But I do think that it's very hard to make money in notebooks compared to other niches, but everybody's different. Some people I follow on YouTube make a lot of money from notebooks, so it does definitely vary. I just personally do not tend to make a lot of money from notebooks right now. So if I type in notebooks, all of these suggestions will come up. Now, this is the AMZ Suggestion Expander. So this is why I find it really helpful, because this is what people are actually searching for. So if I type in notebooks 4, and this is going to give me even some more information, and let's just do horse notebooks and then type 4, and these are other suggestions I'm getting. So horse composition notebooks, mini notebooks horse notebook for girls. And I did already open up one page because it takes a long time for it to load this Self-Publishing Titan store for me. So let's just go over this. Horse notebook for girls, that's what I searched. This is the Self-Publishing Titans tool that you can add to your Amazon.com. And I think you can do this in multiple countries as well, depending on what country you're in. I'm not sure if you have to allow the add-on to be available in those countries, but this is how it should pop up. They sometimes have different versions too. Right here, if you click on this, it'll change to another version, but since it takes a while to load, I'm not going to click that. But this is the one that I love to use. So they do have little help things here to try to explain it. So this says the higher the score, the better. It's recommended to find niches with a score of 60 and higher, but see what averages and scores work best for you. The lowest score they would potentially be interested in is 50 for a new product, but be careful. You always want to pretty much double check and confirm and validate your niche, because just because it has a good score doesn't mean it's actually good. This is a tool to help you. It's not always going to be completely accurate, but I find this to be very, very helpful. So this is a score of 45. And me personally, if it's 40 or higher, I tend to look at it and potentially make a book in that. Because I'm okay if a book only sells once or twice a month, because that adds up. If I have 50 books that only sell once or twice a month, that's 50 to 100 sales I could be making. So everyone's going to be different in that aspect. Over here, total results is how many how many actual books are on the page here. So search total results is 989, and that's how many books are available with this search term. On the first page is 60, and then independently published is 16. So these are all your KDP books, and that's how many are on the first page. Bestsellers rank, the average is 261,792. Now, everybody is going to have a different opinion on what number they want to aim for, what number they're willing to look for. So personally for me, I like to be around 200,000 for a niche for me to look into. Some people do nothing above 100,000. Some do as high as 300, 400,000, maybe even 500,000. Everyone's going to vary on that. The low is 0, which means I'm pretty sure there's no sales there. High is about 1.4 million. So, and then it goes over reviews, which the average is 410, which is a lot. The high is over 5,000, which is a lot, and then it goes over the prices. And then they also have a Facebook group. You can download the data. They have YouTube tutorials. So this tool is honestly super helpful. And again, I'm using both the free versions for these. So then if I scroll down, I can actually start looking at these. Now, I wouldn't look too much at the sponsored up here. That's because people are paying ads to have their books seen there, and I like to focus on organic sales right now. Also, if it's an ad, then it might not come up with that search term on the first page. It may just simply be because the ads are pushing it there, if that makes sense. So looking here, we have an independently published June 1st, 2023. That's really good. This is actually a very beautiful picture of a horse. It's very cute. Very majestic looking. The bestsellers ranked 1.4 million, so not a ton of sales, but it could have had more sales before, and it's just higher now. But that's good that they're actually ranking high up on the search. This one's independently published May 16th, 2022, so this one's older, where this one's only a few months old, and this one has 120,000 BSR, which I think is very, very good. So that's definitely promising as well. 11 reviews. This one has no reviews, and the other two are not KDP books. So you definitely want to look at the KDP books and see how they're competing. This coloring book here is doing really well, but again, it's sponsored. This book's not doing too bad, but it's a bit older. So a lot of the ones in the top pages here, I feel like will be older because this niche is probably pretty saturated by this point. 2022, 2021, but they are selling very well. They do have a lot of reviews. This one's sponsored again. So you have to keep in mind trying to compete with books that have a lot of reviews or books that are like not KDP related can be hard to deal with. This one's January 2023 and it has a little over 1 million. So I think this niche overall is probably kind of hard to get into. However, with this keyword, the search results are good. Usually want to have below 1,000, which is awesome. Again, everyone's going to vary on that. The store is pretty good. The BSR, I think, is pretty good. And there are independently published books on the first page. Most of them are not 2023, but there is at least one that is. So I'd potentially make a book for this niche, but I would want to get a few more keywords that have a store like this related to the book to give me a better chance at ranking organically. If I was going to run ads, then I probably would definitely make a book because I think it'd be a better chance. This is one of those where I'd be on the fence. I think ranking organically would be pretty hard with the stiff competition. A lot of these have a lot of reviews. Some of them have a very low BSR, and some of them are spiral and not KDP related. So I think selling organically would be pretty hard here. However, people are doing it and it's possible. And if you are going to use ads, then I think it's probably worth a chance. But that's my opinion on this one. So back to how to actually find niches, but I want to go over how to validate it too. So if you have no idea what to create, just literally think of anything, any hobby you like, any type of food you like. You can look up low content books if you're into making low content books, same for medium or high content. So let's say you want to do like coloring book with, and just look at all of these. I mean, crayon set, gel pen. See this, you can't really do that with KDP. Affirmations, that's an idea. Barbie coloring book, can't do that. That would definitely be trademark and copyright. Make sure you're double checking trademark and copyright because I see that a lot on KDP, and I think we all go through that in the beginning. Some things we don't know are copyrighted or trademarked, and they are. And I'm no expert with that. I try really hard to make sure I don't have anything that's copyrighted or trademarked, but it is very hard. There's so many things that you wouldn't think are, and then they are. So just try to do your research on that and be careful. Mandala, coloring book with animals. So maybe we'll do coloring book with, and let me just type in a letter. So A, animal safari, adult coloring book for men, mandala coloring book for adults, anime coloring book. Let's type in B. We got black pages, Bible verses, big pictures, blank pages, bugs, brush. So there's so many things you can do here. You can do another book. You can do like a journal, and all these things will come up. So this is how you do niche research. So if you wanted to go with the horse notebook for girls, I'd probably try to find something else related to that, like horse notebook, probably composition or wide ruled. So I looked up wide ruled and I'd start going through the keywords that would be related to my book and seeing how they're ranking. So I could do a horse notebook for girls that is wide ruled. So I'm going to look up horse notebook wide ruled and see what the score is. So right off the bat, this has 9,000 results, which is a lot. So that's not super great, especially for trying to rank organically. The niche score is 36, so not the best. There are independently published on the first page. BSR is okay, a little high, but it does seem to be very, very competitive. These are all sponsored 2022, 2022. I don't see any 2023 yet, 2021. So this definitely seems like it's going to be pretty saturated and a little hard to get into. But you could keep going. You could look at college ruled. You could look at certain sizes like 8x10 or 6x9 or pocket size. Or there's so many different options that you could do, and that's what it means to basically niche down. And this is how you can find niches without using any sort of paid program. And honestly, this is how I started. So it's definitely possible to make sales using this method. It just takes a while. Like niche research takes a while. It takes a few hours. Usually it takes me at least a few hours to find niches, and then if I have to go through and validate them, it's going to take even longer. So I definitely recommend spending a good amount of time on this, because if you don't have a good niche and you don't have keywords that are going to rank well, then your book is probably not going to do well. And you can maybe do well with ads, but if you're trying to rank organically, then you really want to have your niche validated and some solid keywords on there. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it made sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And I really appreciate you watching and listening.